It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. New beer from Guinness. Cold brew coffee beer. Now this pack is available in Tesco at the moment. £6 for 4 cans. Works out at £1.50 a can. It's 4% ABV, coming in a 440 millilitre can. You can only buy it at the moment in a 4-pack. So I'm going to break this 4-pack open. That's what it looks like. Quite nice packaging. On the one side, you've got a relatively kind of similar kind of looking Guinness can than the usual Guinness cans, but if you spin it round, you can see that there's infusions of coffee, what it looks like coffee, into the Guinness. So rather interesting. They've used cold brew coffee and they've kind of blended it with Guinness. 4% ABV. I'm going to use a tulip glass because you always seem to see Guinness in tulip glasses. Let's get the beer out into a glass and see what we get. As a bit of a widget going on. Bit of an explosion. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I had to search where I could buy this beer. And I came across a review from the London Evening Standard. And they said these cans have been exploded. So be a bit careful when you're opening your can of Guinness cold brew coffee beer, because it is a bit drippy. It will drip. I mean, don't open it over your nice cream sofa, whatever you do. Beer in the glass looks like a typical glass of Guinness. It's created a 3-finger, slightly off-white head. It's not jet black. It's not jet black, but it's supposed to be because it's got that kind of look of coffee about it. Rock the beer back and forth. You can see that real tight nitro head rocking back and forth. It's silky, it's looking smooth. Fun fact, while I was reading the review, I carried on reading the review from the London Evening Standard, and they said 1 in 10 pints of Guinness, 1 in 10 pints in London is a Guinness. That's mega sales. I never thought it'd be that much. Aroma then on this cold brew coffee beer from Guinness. The bloke from the Evening Standard didn't seem to like it, but it's got quite a nice aroma, to be honest with you. It's got that kind of typical Guinness roasted malt aroma, but it really does have a cold brew coffee kind of feel to it. There's a little bit of kind of tobacco smoke in there as well, and I think that's being caused by the bitterness of the coffee, the roastiness of the coffee and the roastiness of the roasted malt. So it's kind of double bitterness that I'm going to taste in this beer, which is giving off aromas of tobacco smoke. But don't let me put you off by me saying tobacco smoke, because there's lots of dark, roasty, toasty stouts out there that have that familiar tobacco smoke, pipe tobacco smoke aroma. A little bit of chocolate in there, a little bit of caramel. It smells okay, actually. I'm going to dive into this one. Cheers, everybody. Very smooth. I mean, it's unbelievably drinkable. Unbelievably drinkable. It goes down like milk. It goes down like a cold brew coffee. Not too much in the way of carbonation, but I think Guinness wanted that. There's a little bit of roasted malt in there. There's definitely a kind of malty character going on. There's a bitterness right on the end. I wouldn't call it astringent. I wouldn't call it overpowering, but there's a definite bitterness there. Again, can't quite work out if that's the roasted malt or the coffee giving that bitterness on the back end. It's an interesting concept. It's an interesting drink. Am I enjoying it? Do you know, I think I am. The guy from the Evening Standard, the London Evening Standard, he called it disgusting. It's far from disgusting. I think this is a reaction to all of the craft beers that are out there now. Lots of craft beer brewers are producing stouts and porters with lots of coffee flavour, and that's all coming from kind of roasted malt, not a blended cold brew coffee. So I think this is Guinness's reaction to the amount of stouts and porters that are kind of coming back now into fashion. Once the London Porter would have, a few hundred years ago, the London Porter sold, it was the best selling beer in London. So there is that kind of 1 in 10 Guinness drinkers kind of makes sense now if you think that lots of people used to drink this style of beer anyway. It's drinking like a milk stout. It's drinking like a cold brew coffee mixed with beer. I think this is a good effort. I think this is a good effort by Guinness. I will be, a full disclosure, I bought these cans myself. I've just got in from the supermarket. I've literally dumped them on the counter, took a quick thumbnail, bang, on with the review. They've not been in my fridge. They've been on the shelf in Tesco. They've been in my kitchen. Temperature wise, this is definitely room temperature. But I think if you chilled this beer down to say 4 degrees, I think you're going to start ruining the kind of taste of the beer then. I think it's why I'm enjoying it probably more than the bloke from the Evening Standard, because he probably instinctively whacked it in his fridge and cooled it right down. And the more you cool a beer, the more you lose the roasted malt, the more you lose flavours of the hops. So I think the advantage here would be to drink it at kind of, put it in your fridge, but take a can out, leave it on the side for 20 minutes or so. Just bring it up to temperature a little bit. Beer shouldn't be, or I don't think this beer should be freezing cold. It's going down really well. It's going down really well. Look as I wash the beer around in the glass. I mean, I could quite easily, these 4 cans, it's Friday afternoon, the sun's shining, it's 25 to 4. It's kind of instinctive crack a beer open time, isn't it? I could quite easily grab the rest of these cans now, go and sit in my garden and just happily sup away all afternoon. I like it. I like it. It's got great head retention, which of course Guinness is famous for. It's doing everything that they've kind of put on the tin. I'm not a fan of Guinness. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'm not a fan of regular Guinness draft. I don't really find it that much of a kind of stout anymore. I much prefer to drink a proper craft stout from a craft brewer. But I like this. I do. I like this. I think it's a really good effort. Brewed in Ireland. Flavourful notes of coffee, chocolate and caramel. make for a delicious yet refreshingly sweet taste sensation. I think they could have a hit on their hands here. I'm slightly surprised that they didn't launch it in winter when, you know, we're talking about stout season. We're heading into the summer months now, and I think it's going to be a slightly more difficult selling this beer in the summer, unless of course you're going to really chill it down. But then again, you're going to lose some of the flavours if you do that. So I thought they could have maybe launched this at Christmas time. Stout season. Very rare that I stand in front of the camera and I drink a whole pint. Very rare. I normally drink half the beer in review. If you're new to the channel, by the way, we've reviewed over 8,000 beers on the channel. But very rarely, normally I drink half the beer, finish the review, say thank you very much, and off I go. But I quite happily stand here, drink this whole pint with you. I mean, it's good. Lots of coffee flavour, lots of chocolate, lots of caramel. It feels like a cold brew coffee and a Guinness mixed together, which is exactly what they've tried to do. It's exactly what it says on the tin. Yeah. Happy days. Happy days. I like it. I'm going to rate this. I think for £1.50 a can, that's a steal. It's an absolute steal. I like that enough to give it a 9 out of 10. So 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.